Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. I think I have solved this whole audio problem. Never plug in a camera and a USB microphone into the same hub. That's what I learned. It worked for about 2 months, and then, for some reason, it did not. I have no idea how computers work. After more than 10 years in the world of computers, that's what I realized. I think nobody knows how they work. But it doesn't matter today. Today we are going to talk about the weather, because it's fun to talk about the weather. You look out, there's the weather. It's unmistakably obvious that it's out there. It's always out there. Although, as I said before, in Hungary it's usually quite boring. Nowadays it's pretty hot. Here in the UK, on the other hand, it's very different. Today it's sunny. Yesterday it was less sunny, and before that it was quite rainy. I think that's enough introduction. Let's go ahead and do the thing. So let's do the thing. Today we have a Hungarian sentence that we are going to translate to English, because that's the best fun in the world. It's relatively easy, but it will give me a chance to talk about conjugations and all that sort of crazy stuff. Alright then, let's pick up Google Translate and start working on it. As you might have guessed from the title, we are going to learn the word cruel today. But then of course it raises the question, is it something we start a sentence with? Well, probably not. Let's see if there is a better word that could be our subject. Well, that's certainly the weather, and that you might recognize as the. And that's perfectly fine. And all we have left is ma, which is today. That is the shortest translation in the history of translations, except that there is something missing here, which is the verb. How horrible is that? Yeah, it is indeed quite horrible. And what can we do here? I mean, seriously, what can we do? There is something missing that is non-existent in the Hungarian sentence, yet the Hungarian sentence does make sense, while the English sentence, well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, look, Hungarians might not be used to other people speaking their language. It's always some sort of celebration when someone hears another person trying to speak Hungarian. In English it's different, it's mundane, it's boring. Everybody speaks English nowadays. Well, at least some people. And if you hear the broken kind of English, it's still understandable. You can still get it. It's not that awful. This sentence, the weather cruel today, is obviously missing the is. And that's not something that would be especially hard to insert into our sentence. There, I just did it. It was fantastically easy. Although, ideally, I would have to think about whether this fits with is. Maybe it's are, maybe it's am, maybe it's something else. Who knows? But for now, this is perfectly fine. However, let's go on and learn something different, because we had such an easy time translating this sentence. So let's talk about this. Now, I don't often use Google Translate for this purpose, but I guess it could be used for whatever I am about to do. And that is starting to remove letters from the end and then trying to figure out what other words might hide in this one. Because as I often mention, Hungarian is the kind of language that creates words using attachments, endings, suffixes, prefixes, things, as you can imagine. So right now we have kegyet, which obviously has the T at the end, which is for objects, and we removed an attachment called len. And if you look it up in the dictionary or in the grammar book, then it will tell you that it adds the meaning of less, which is fairly similar to what English does. For instance, choice, choiceless, limit, limitless. It negates the meaning. Now, if I remove the T, then we have grace. And for some reason, while in English this translates to as grace, but it also translates to mercy, and then if you use less with mercy, then you have this one. And among the translations, you have kegyetlen, which we translated as cruel. So there you have it. We've played around with the endings. Admittedly, this was very easy, but what would you expect from a sort of introductory thing? Later on in life, probably I will have to talk a lot about attachments, because Hungarian is the kind of language that has attachments. Thousands of them, millions of them, billions of them. Okay, maybe I've gone too far with that estimate, but definitely not 2 or 3, and at least 4 or even 5. Anyways, this is a very short episode. Hopefully the sound is much better now, unless it is insanely distorted because of reasons. But it was fine during testing. But then again, whatever is fine during testing might just not be fine during live production. Oh boy, I love computers, but I also love filmmaking, especially if it's connected to computers. I think you understand why. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please comment and like and do all the necessary things to make everyone happy, including me, and the document is in the description. Well, the link of the document is in the description with this sentence, and don't be afraid to ask questions, as usual. If for some reason you find another page down below and you wish to ask questions about those other sentences, that's perfectly fine as well. I see all the comments and I usually try to answer them. So I hope you'll have a good day. Goodbye.